The entertainment world is mourning the heartbreaking loss of Eric Dane, the beloved actor best known for his unforgettable roles on Grey's Anatomy and Euphoria. Dane has died at the age of 53 following a courageous battle with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis (ALS), a progressive neurodegenerative disease he publicly revealed in 2025. His passing marks the end of a remarkable career that spanned more than 3 decades, one defined by charisma, depth, reinvention, and ultimately, bravery in the face of devastating illness. A life cut short, a legacy that endures. Born on November 9, 1972, in San Francisco, California, Eric Dane grew up with a love for storytelling and performance. Though he did not initially set out to become a household name, his natural screen presence and emotional intelligence quickly set him apart. He began his career in the early 1990s with guest roles on popular television series, gradually building a reputation as a dependable and compelling performer. Few could have predicted that he would go on to create one of television's most iconic heartthrob characters, a role that would define a generation of primetime drama. The rise of McSteamy. In 2006, Dane joined Grey's Anatomy as Dr. Mark Sloan, a brilliant plastic surgeon with movie star looks, razor-sharp wit, and hidden vulnerability. Almost instantly, fans embraced him. The nickname, McSteamy, became a cultural phenomenon, and Dane became one of the show's most magnetic stars. Mark Sloan was more than eye candy. Over time, the character evolved into a layered, emotionally complex man grappling with love, fatherhood, loyalty, and loss. Dane's performance gave the character warmth and humanity, transforming him into one of the series' most beloved figures. For years, he was central to the show's biggest storylines. His on-screen chemistry with castmates created some of the drama's most memorable moments. When his character exited the series in 2012, fans were devastated. His brief return years later served as a powerful reminder of how deeply his character resonated. To many viewers, Eric Dane wasn't just part of Grey's Anatomy, he was part of its golden era. Reinventing himself beyond the hospital halls. While Mark Sloan defined a chapter of his career, Eric Dane refused to be boxed into a single identity. He took on roles that challenged audience expectations and showcased his range. He starred as Captain Tom Chandler in the action drama The Last Ship, portraying a decisive naval commander navigating global catastrophe. The role allowed Dane to shift from romantic lead to commanding action star, proving he had far more to offer than charm alone. In film, he appeared in major productions including X-Men, The Last Stand, Marley and Me, Valentine's Day, and Burlesque. Whether in blockbuster franchises or ensemble dramas, he brought a grounded intensity that elevated every scene. But it was his later career transformation that stunned critics and audiences alike. A dark, powerful turn on Euphoria. When Dane joined HBO's Euphoria as Cal Jacobs, he stepped into one of the most complex roles of his career. Cal was deeply flawed, a controlling father hiding layers of secret pain and identity struggles. It was a raw, unsettling, and emotionally demanding performance. Gone was the charming McSteamy. In his place stood a haunted, morally conflicted man whose unraveling became one of the series' most gripping arcs. Dane embraced the challenge fully. Critics praised his fearless vulnerability, particularly in scenes that required emotional breakdowns and deeply personal revelations. The performance introduced him to a younger generation of viewers who may not have known his earlier work. It was proof that Eric Dane was not simply a television heartthrob from the 2000s, he was a serious actor capable of transformation. The ALS diagnosis that changed everything. In 2025, Eric Dane publicly revealed that he had been diagnosed with ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. The announcement shocked fans worldwide. ALS is a progressive neurological disorder that affects nerve cells responsible for voluntary muscle movement. Over time, it leads to muscle weakness, paralysis, and difficulty speaking and breathing. There is currently no cure. Dane spoke openly about his diagnosis, choosing transparency over silence. He described the early symptoms, weakness in his arm, subtle changes that gradually worsened, and the emotional toll of facing an uncertain future. Yet even as the disease advanced, he refused to retreat from public life. Courage in the face of decline. As ALS progressed, Dane's physical abilities diminished. He reportedly lost significant mobility and eventually required assistance. But those close to him described extraordinary resilience. Rather than withdraw, he became an advocate for ALS awareness and research funding. He participated in events, supported organizations, and used interviews to educate the public about the disease's devastating reality. Friends say he was determined to turn pain into purpose. He also continued working for as long as possible, committed to finishing projects and honoring professional obligations. That determination reflected the same work ethic that had carried him from small guest spots to leading roles. Family at the center of his world. Beyond Hollywood lights and red carpets, Eric Dane was first and foremost a family man. He married actress Rebecca Gayheart in 2004. Together, they had 2 daughters, Billie Beatrice and Georgia Geraldine. Though the couple faced public ups and downs over the years, they remained deeply connected, especially during his illness. Those closest to the family say his daughters were his greatest joy. He often spoke about fatherhood as his most meaningful role. As his health declined, time with his family became his greatest priority. He spent his final days surrounded by loved ones. Hollywood reacts. News of his death triggered an outpouring of tributes from across the entertainment industry. Former co-stars shared heartfelt memories, describing him as generous, mischievous, deeply kind, and intensely committed to his craft. Fans flooded social media with clips of their favorite Mark Sloan scenes and emotional moments from Euphoria. For many, Eric Dane's characters were tied to pivotal chapters in their own lives. College nights spent binge-watching medical drama marathons, conversations sparked by the provocative storytelling of HBO's teen series. His work was more than entertainment. It was part of people's emotional landscapes. More than a heartthrob, it would be easy to reduce Eric Dane to the nickname McSteamy. But that would overlook the depth of his career and character. He navigated fame, personal struggles, professional reinvention, and public health challenges with unusual openness. He spoke candidly over the years about mental health and recovery. He was imperfect and honest about it, qualities that made him relatable. His later performances showed an actor unafraid to age, evolve, and dismantle his own image. That courage defined his final years. Understanding ALS and its impact. ALS affects thousands of families worldwide each year. The disease attacks motor neurons, gradually robbing individuals of the ability to control their muscles. While cognitive function often remains intact, the body weakens relentlessly. Average life expectancy after diagnosis is typically 2 to 5 years, though progression varies. By publicly sharing his journey, Dane helped bring renewed attention to the urgent need for research, funding, and compassionate care. His advocacy will likely continue to inspire support for ALS initiatives long after his passing. A career spanning 3 decades. From early television appearances in the 1990s to global fame in the 2000s and artistic reinvention in the 2010s, Eric Dane built a body of work that demonstrated consistency and growth. He moved fluidly between romance, action, drama, and psychological complexity. Directors valued his reliability. Co-stars valued his humor and steadiness. Audiences valued his authenticity. He wasn't simply playing roles, he was building emotional connections. Remembering Eric Dane. At 53, Eric Dane's life feels heartbreakingly short. Yet the impact he made was immense. He leaves behind 2 decades of iconic television. A generation of fans who grew up watching him. A renewed awareness of ALS. A family who loved him deeply. Colleagues who respected him profoundly. In the end, Eric Dane's legacy is not just about McSteamy or Cal Jacobs. It is about resilience. It is about reinvention. It is about facing unimaginable difficulty with dignity. His performances will continue streaming into living rooms for years to come. New audiences will discover Mark Sloan's charm and Cal Jacobs' complexity. And each time, Eric Dane's presence will feel alive again. Hollywood has lost a star. Television has lost a defining face of its golden age. But his story, both on-screen and off, will endure.